Such a seemingly desolate landscape now. Basically no plants growing, crumbling adobe walls. Hard to imagine that for more than 1,000 years, it seems, this was a center, if not the center, of ritual culture for the area now known as Peru, or at least a large part of it. You never know, maybe one day the same thing will be said of a place like New York or Tokyo or London. This again is what is called the Painted Temple, and it's where the carving of Pachacamac, which was similar in design to a totem pole, was located. Pachacamac was an oracle, and an oracle that existed for at least 1,000, if not 1,400 years. An oracle that would answer questions. And when the Spanish arrived and had Atahualpa, the half-blood Inca, in captivity, they were getting kind of angry because the gold that Atahualpa had promised, at least not all of it, was showing up. So Atahualpa suggested that the Spanish go to Pachacamac because there was a great temple, which is either this, the Temple of the Sun, that they referred to, or this, the Painted Temple. But by the time they reached here, the priests of the temple had already heard through possibly the Chasquis, who were the messengers, that the Spanish were on their way. So it's said that the priests took all of the gold and buried it in the sand somewhere here, so that the Spanish couldn't get hold of it. Huayna Capac, who was the last of the true Inca kings, and who died of smallpox approximately 5 years before the arrival of the Spanish in physical form, because the smallpox had been transmitted through the populace coming down all the way from Panama. But again, this was 5 years before the Spanish physically set foot in what is now, or was, Inca country. He came here after having a series of dreams and visions telling him that strangers would be arriving and would destroy the Inca kingdom. He didn't believe these visions and what his soothsayers said at first, and insisted that he had to come here to Pachacamac and speak with the oracle, also named Pachacamac, in order that these stories be either proven right or wrong through Pachacamac's wisdom and knowledge. This now is approaching the summit of the Temple of the Sun, El Templo de la Sol. What we can see here was constructed by the Inca near the end of their existence, probably built in the 15th century. Of course, their demise came approximately, or more exactly, at the years 1532 and 1533. But here we have red ochre, and according to the literature, the red ochre temple, which was built first with the Inca building on top, which is of course a very common thing, was all red in color. And out of gratitude, or out of something, here is Inti himself, the sun, welcoming us to his temple. Here at the Temple of the Sun, you can look over the entire of the rest of the site. Including the ocean. Such was the power and the influence of Pachacamac that Huayna Capac, the last of the true Inca rulers, consulted the sculpture and the deity Pachacamac for the monumental decision he had to make, and that was what to do with the Tawantinsuyu, the empire, the civilization, after his death. Of course, what he wound up doing was dividing the Tawantinsuyu into two parts. To Atahualpa, his half-blood Inca son, he gave Quito and the areas of Atahualpa's mother, who was a native princess of the area of Quito. And the rest of the Tawantinsuyu were given in trust to Huascar, the second son, and the eldest of the full-blooded sons of the Inca, because the first, Ninanquiochi, died of smallpox. What seems to be, according to what almost all of the history says, that made the Inca different from other so-called empires is the way that when they would expand, rather than conquer necessarily, they would include or absorb other cultures. And an example is here at Pachacamac, because when the Inca, supposedly Pachacuti or Pachacutec, arrived here, he spoke with the high priest, and what he said, supposedly, was, there's nothing that you have to change here in this sacred site. The only thing I ask is I want to erect a temple of the sun, which is this, and a temple of the moon, which is off in the distance. All of the other temples and all of your beliefs I will not touch and will not alter. The only thing I ask is that you accept Inti, the sun, as the supreme deity. I accept your Pachacamac as being a profound God and one with whom I myself would like to converse.